The field of healthcare in Vietnam has been paid an increasing attention, which in turn helps to develop the system of healthcare facilities and medical equipment. Under the provisions of Vietnam Investment Law 2005, manufacturing medical devices is one of the fields receive investment incentives. This makes medical devices market in Vietnam become more attractive with the participation of foreign investors from Japan, Korea, China, and Germany. Since 1990s, companies such as B.Braun or Siemens have invested heavily in manufacturing and supplying medical equipment. According to Vietnam Business Environment Survey conducted by the delegate of German Industry and Commerce in Vietnam AHK, 70% of the German companies, including companies in the field of manufacturing and supplying medical devices, confirmed that Vietnamese market has developed positively over the past years, and they also put forward to expand their business in Vietnam in 2015.
Hello, this is Trang Vietnam on VTC10 Net Việt. I'm Văn Hiệp. So, Vietnam's business environment is highly appreciated by a large number of foreign investors in different sectors. And in today's program, let's focus on the healthcare sector here in Vietnam. And in today's program, we have invited Mr. Florian Deichmann, the plant manager medical of B.Braun in Vietnam, to share more about this sector here in Vietnam. So first of all, thank you very much, Mr. Florian Deichmann, for joining our program today. So, Mr. Florian, we know that you have been working here in Vietnam for 5 years already. So, what is your impression about the business environment here in Vietnam?
During that time, Vietnam has shown a very dynamic, it's been a very dynamic situation in the country, with quite some positive achievements and developments looking at the economy. The growth of the economy is above average compared to other countries here in the Southeast Asian region. And just to name some figures, foreign direct investment grew by more than 10% in the last 2 years, which is showing us that the economy will grow further in the next few years as well. However, in order to maintain this situation and to further have this positive development, there are also some other initiatives necessary to further stabilize the situation and to ensure the long-term growth and the sustainability.
So what about the production of pharmaceutical products and the supply of health equipment here in Vietnam that your company are operating in? So what can you say about this sector here in Vietnam?
Similar to the overall economic situation in Vietnam, also the healthcare market has shown a very dynamic growth in the past years. We are talking here about growth rates about 15 to 20% every year, and also here compared to other economies, other markets in the region, Vietnam has achieved already a quite competitive and high standard. Further to this, a lot of more development projects are planned over the next years. Just to mention one example, even only here in Hanoi, another 25 hospitals are planned already with more than 8,000 beds, which is showing us that the growth will remain very dynamic. So we believe that this significant growth we will have also in the next few years. For both the healthcare market itself as well as the industry as the producers for the medical devices in the country. However, saying that, it must be also mentioned that a certain modernization of the system and of the sector will be necessary due to changing demands and changing basic conditions in the market.
And what are the difficulties and the advantages for the foreign investors to invest in the healthcare sector here in Vietnam?
So I mentioned the dynamic growth in the market already, and knowing the fact that at the moment still more than 90% of the overall medical equipment demand are still imported, the opportunities for producers here in the country, in the market, are rather obvious. However, there are also some challenges which need to be overcome first in order to improve the situation. This comprises, for example, regulations regarding tender regulations, reimbursement in the market, and also there are still some limitations for domestic companies in terms of import of pharmaceutical goods.
So, Mr. Florian, we can see that nowadays in Vietnam there are different suppliers and producers of pharmaceutical products and health equipment here in Vietnam, such as Japan and Korea. So, how did your company confirm your position in this sector here in Vietnam?
So, being present here in Vietnam for more than 20 years now, B.Braun is a very well-known and trusted supplier of medical as well as pharmaceutical devices and products. Despite the fact that there are quite a number of competitors in the market, B.Braun is one of the few suppliers, we call it the one-stop supplier. So we are offering the whole product portfolio and also a huge portfolio of services in order to supply and to support the hospitals and the users of our products. With our clear focus on both quality and safety for both products and services, we are helping to improve treatments and procedures in the hospitals.
This is the factory of B.Braun Vietnam Company Limited. B.Braun Vietnam was established in 1992, mainly operating in two major areas, including pharmaceutical manufacturing and medical equipment production. The healthcare products manufactured by foreign companies like B.Braun Vietnam have had important contributions to providing better healthcare services and treatments for Vietnamese people through the system of clinics and hospitals. In order to meet the need of infusion solutions and devices, surgical instruments of Vietnamese market, as well as export orders, early 2014, B.Braun Vietnam deployed Stage 2 of the investment project on producing medical equipment with a total investment of $50 million. According to the representatives of B.Braun Vietnam, within the next 6 to 7 years, the company will invest about $270 million into a number of new projects, including building new pharmaceutical manufacturing plant at the industrial complex in Thanh Oai, Hanoi. This shows the confidence of German firms to invest in the field of producing medical devices in Vietnam.
And recently, we heard that many German businesses here in Vietnam are facing the difficulty in recruiting the skilled workers and staff. So, with B.Braun here in Vietnam, how did you do in order to develop your professional staff here?
We are fully aware of this. Vietnam is facing a skills gap, especially for professional and technicians graduating from the high schools, from the university and colleges. They are often lacking the knowledge we need later on. So most of the guys, they come with a quite good theoretical background. However, what is lacking and what is missing is the practical experience. This is one of the reasons why we have been active now since quite some time, and we have been developing an educational program together with one of the universities here in the north, the Hung Yen University of Technology and Education. Last but not least, there are also several initiatives to remain our staff. Of course, we are focusing on a rather long-term development of the staff. This means also things like providing additional healthcare and insurance for our staff, or company events, team building events, and so on are crucial in order to remain the staff. So, as I mentioned before, B.Braun is present here in Vietnam since more than 20 years, and we've got quite a number of staff working for B.Braun since 15 plus years already, so which is showing that our approach seems to be working and our staff is showing a high commitment with the company.
So let me ask you about the future plan of B.Braun to develop and to expand your production here in Vietnam.
So globally, B.Braun is marking its 175th anniversary this year, and we are present here in Vietnam since as early as 1990. So this is showing you already that we have a very sustainable business approach. I mentioned the further growth potential in the market before, so this is why also we as B.Braun, we are further developing our business here in the country. Within the next 5 to 7 years, we are planning to invest more than $270 million in our facilities here in Hanoi. Expanding our business and the operations here in the country will also mean that we will create more than 1,300 additional new jobs with this investment. However, to realize this additional investment, it also needs a reliable and stable infrastructure and business environment. For example, the power supply and also looking at the financial market. Only once all these factors are guaranteed, then an additional investment can be done.
And what about your prediction about the competitiveness and the development of the production of the pharmaceutical products and the supply of health equipment here in Vietnam in the future?
Quite a number of new projects have been announced already by the Ministry of Health and by the government, so the growth is expected to further remain throughout the next years. Looking at the overall market volume here in Vietnam, the total market volume has been about $700 million last year, whereas, which I mentioned before, more than 90% of the equipment is imported from Japan, mainly the US and Germany. However, it must be mentioned as well that a suitable general framework must be created first in order to further develop this growth in the country and to attract producers to further invest here in Vietnam. The current situation is partly rather unfavorable for high-quality producers in the country, as a lot of decisions are purely driven by the price, by the cost of the products. So, which then is of course bringing some advantages to some other cheap competitors, where, however, the quality is not on a comparable level. So, also here we need to see how the awareness is changing or can be changed in the Vietnamese market. Also do have local manufacturers rather have disadvantages compared to imported goods due to certain regulations. So these are just two examples where we still see some potential for improvement here in the Vietnamese market.
And what about your prediction about the competitiveness and the development of the production of pharmaceutical products and the supply of health equipment here in Vietnam in the future?
So for a sustainable development which should serve a better standard in the Vietnamese healthcare market, a holistic approach is needed here. And as otherwise, I mentioned these two challenges before, domestic production may also decline due to the price erosion, and this despite the fact of the growing demand mentioned before.
And once again, thank you very much, Mr. Florian Deichmann, for joining our program today and for your sharing.
Thank you so much.
And that's it we have for today's program. And for comment and feedback, don't hesitate to write to us at sangvietnam@netvietttv.net. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.